The United Arab Emirates had a secret that was hidden in plain sight. Hidden amongst the fancy buildings and luxurious lifestyle, a new type of army was being built, one that was unlike any other. This wasn't a regular army, it was an elite force, trained to be the best of the best. It was trained by a private company called Blackwater, known globally for its work with soldiers for hire and its controversial operations. The UAE wanted a special security force, unlike any other in the region, and Blackwater was more than happy to help. Blackwater's job was to create a top-notch unit, ready to handle any threat quickly and effectively, with precision and skill. Blackwater, started by Eric Prince, was known for being aggressive and secretive, often operating in the shadows. The UAE wanted a force that didn't worry about ethics, a force that was precise, ruthless, and never hesitated to act. This fit perfectly with what the UAE envisioned for its security, a force that could protect its interests at any cost. In the hot desert, where the sun blazes down relentlessly and the sand stretches as far as the eye can see, Blackwater built a fake version of dangerous places around the world. These mock urban combat zones were designed to replicate the most perilous environments soldiers might face. Modern training centers popped up, looking like cities and places where people might be held hostage. These facilities were equipped with the latest technology to simulate real-life scenarios. Specially chosen soldiers from the UAE's army went through very tough training. They were pushed to their limits, both physically and mentally, to prepare for any situation. Blackwater's trainers, former members of elite military groups, taught them everything they knew from real battles. These experts shared their invaluable experience, ensuring the soldiers were well prepared. They taught the soldiers to be practical, sometimes ruthless, always focused on getting the job done, no matter what. The training emphasized real-world applications and quick decision-making. The soldiers practiced advanced fighting moves and rescuing hostages under lots of pressure. These drills were designed to mimic the stress and chaos of actual combat situations. The training was hard, but it worked. The soldiers emerged stronger, more resilient, and ready for anything. It created soldiers who understood how their enemies thought. They learned to anticipate and counteract enemy strategies effectively. Now, the UAE had an army unlike any other in the area. These elite warriors stood ready to defend their nation with unparalleled skill and determination. As Blackwater became more involved in the UAE, more people started to criticize. Human rights groups worried because things weren't very open. The UAE didn't say much about what Blackwater was doing, and that made people suspicious. Blackwater's past was troubling, and critics said the UAE's partnership with them was a bad idea. It was becoming hard to tell the difference between real security work and what soldiers for hire do. Even government and intelligence officials argued about whether the UAE had made the right choice. All the questions about Blackwater showed how complicated modern war had become. Blackwater's work in the UAE changed how countries think about their armies. The presence of private military contractors in the region marked a significant shift in how military operations were conducted. No longer were national armies solely responsible for defense. Private entities began to play a crucial role. Now, private companies were helping to plan national defense. These companies brought in expertise and resources that many countries lacked, offering strategic planning and operational support that was previously the domain of national military forces. The UAE hired Blackwater because they didn't have enough trained soldiers of their own, and because they wanted to be able to say they weren't directly involved if something went wrong. This allowed the UAE to maintain a level of plausible deniability while still achieving their military objectives. Because Blackwater's training worked so well, other countries in the area became interested. The success of these training programs demonstrated the effectiveness of private military contractors, leading to increased demand for their services. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and other neighboring countries saw the benefits and wanted to enhance their own military capabilities. And Kuwait wanted their own special units too. These countries sought to build elite forces that could operate independently and effectively in various conflict scenarios. Private military companies saw a chance to make money and offered their services to whoever would pay the most. This created a competitive market where the highest bidder could secure top-tier military expertise and support. Hiring private armies was becoming normal. The reliance on these private forces grew as they proved to be effective and efficient in various military operations. This had a huge impact on the region. The presence of private military companies altered the dynamics of power and conflict, influencing both local and international military strategies. Years after Blackwater first started working in the UAE, you can still see the effects of their training. The special units they helped create are now a powerful force used in many operations. Blackwater, now using different names, is still quietly working in the area. The UAE's decision to work with Blackwater seemed like a good idea at first. They now had a strong and effective army. But what will happen in the future? Hiring private armies is risky. It's hard to know who's in charge, and it's not always clear what they're doing. The story of Blackwater in the UAE is a warning about how war is changing.